Welcome to the She Rises Collective podcast, a permission slip, a portal, and a hug all in one. A sacred space where stories soften us, truth unearths us, and sisterhood waters what's been waiting to grow. I'm Sonia Welch, wife and mama to a whole bunch of kids, certified trauma-informed life and transformation coach, entrepreneur, storyteller, heart and soul-driven woman walking life right alongside you. This is where we talk about the real stuff. Motherhood, relationships, money, career, business, healing and reinvention, sisterhood, the day-to-day, becoming the woman you know you're meant to be, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits here. We alchemize struggle into strength, pain into purpose, and we rise together. Raw, honest, wildly empowered. As the artist of our lives, let's take the raw materials of life and make freaking art, because you can be a masterpiece and a work of art at the same time. And if there's one thing I want you to know, it's this. No matter your past or your present, your future can be wildly beautiful. And you deserve a life that makes your soul scream, yes, more, please. If you're here, it's not by accident. You were led. And this space was created for you because this isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. A sacred soul-led space to come together, connect and laugh in a space that is real and raw, encompassing the complexities and dynamics of life, hand in hand, growing and rising together. This is the She Rises Collective podcast. Welcome home. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to part 2 of our series on time and healing your relationship with it. If you haven't listened to part 1 yet, I highly recommend going back and starting there. It lays the foundation for what we're going to deepen into today. I'm going to share a simple but incredibly powerful mindset shift that will completely change your perception of time, and a very simple and powerful 3-step process that I use that has radically freed me from the force and the burnout. In this episode, we're shifting gears a bit from the energetic and spiritual nature of time into the practical ways we can begin to shift our experience of it. And it's not by being more disciplined like the narrative we've been sold. Let me explain. For years, I believed that if I could just be more disciplined, I'd get more done and feel better. But discipline always came with a harsh edge, like I needed to force myself into action. It felt rigid, external, like I was constantly trying to fix or correct myself or push myself. Like there was something wrong with me, and the word discipline in itself naturally brings in a harsh connotation. So here's the secret to being more productive without the burnout and the force. You first need to be devoted to yourself and to cultivating happiness and fulfillment into your life. Because when you trade discipline for devotion, becoming more disciplined, aka productive and efficient, naturally becomes the byproduct of your devotion to yourself. Devotion is sacred. It's soft. It's chosen. It's rooted in self-respect, not self-punishment. When we begin choosing devotion to our joy, our nervous system, our values, our body, our home, our goals, our family, our relationships, our soul, our desires, our mental space, our well-being, we no longer have to force ourselves into doing the things that matter. We get to do these things. Devotion changes everything. It's no longer, I should work out. It becomes, I'm devoted to feeling good in my body. It's no longer, I need to clean the house or I'll feel behind. It becomes, I'm devoted to a space that feels peaceful because my family and I deserve that. And I love a space that energizes and inspires me. This shift from discipline to devotion is a return to the feminine. Discipline is often associated with the masculine. Structure, order, systems, these things are not bad. In fact, When integrated through devotion, they become the masculine in service to the feminine. We need both. We need the right balance of our masculine and feminine energies. That's the real key. Healthy masculine energy holds the structure for our devotion to flow. But when discipline is used as a tool of force, shame, or urgency, it disconnects us from ourselves. It pulls us out of presence and into performance. Devotion brings us back into presence, into soul, into a life we want to live. Let's look at the definition of discipline. It's the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. I don't know about you, but that doesn't really sound like something I want in my life. But devoted, the word in itself evokes a rich and meaningful feeling. The definition is this: very loving or loyal. So when we are loving and loyal to ourselves and to the things that we get to do, when we are loyal to ourselves, which includes our daily duties and tasks and dreams and desires, we naturally become more disciplined without needing punishment and correction. For disobedience, like the definition of the word implies. This is a key part of the work I do with clients. We rewrite the stories they've inherited about productivity, worth, and how they relate to time. We explore what it looks like to live in devotion to the things that matter most. We use science-backed tools to create the good habits that they desire and to chuck the ones that are not serving them well. Here's something I do often, and it's something I invite my clients to do too. When I find myself numbing, avoiding, mindlessly scrolling, or procrastinating, I ask, what is this costing me? And what would devotion look like right now? What is the reward of doing the thing that I'm avoiding? This isn't a shame spiral. It's a gentle return. It's awareness. Sometimes devotion looks like doing the thing you've been avoiding. Sometimes it looks like resting when your nervous system is taxed. Sometimes it looks like setting a boundary, saying no, drinking water, getting fresh air, sitting with yourself for 5 minutes without distraction. When we find ourselves avoiding, sometimes it's happening because we're operating on autopilot and our subconscious mind has taken over. It's a pattern and behavior that simple awareness and conscious choosing can start to rewire. When I find myself saying, I'm not going to work out today, I'll just do it tomorrow, I remind myself that I deserve a body that I love to look at in the mirror. I deserve a body that functions optimally. I deserve to take good care of myself and to use that time for me. I deserve to take care of this vessel because this vessel significantly impacts the quality of my life. When I find myself aimlessly scrolling instead of working on a podcast episode or something else in my business, I remind myself that my business deeply matters to me and that I love my business. And because I fiercely desire to create impact, it's easy to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 myself right back into focus. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method by Mel Robbins. She has a book about it that I read almost a decade ago, and it's a really good pattern interruption to get yourself out of your typical autopilot mode. Your mind typically associates a countdown with like running or blasting off, meaning like what I mean by this is taking action. So it's a nice little hack that I like to use. And her book goes really in depth about it. But I think about how good it feels to show up for myself by doing the things that make me feel good, exercising, cleaning my home, working on my business. I mean, to some that might sound mundane, but it feels good. My house, it's my sanctuary. My body is my vessel. My business is my passion. So it feels good to show up for myself because I get to do these things. It's the simple reframe of discipline to devotion and I have to I get to that makes such a magical difference. And when we feel good about ourselves, it overflows into everything and everyone around us. We aren't in a negativity loop, a negativity spiral. Things flow. There's more alignment, and somehow, miraculously, more just naturally gets done. We don't need to get more disciplined. We just need to be devoted to ourselves and the things that matter to us. In every moment, we have a choice and a lens to choose. I heard something once that said, every decision you make is a reflection of how much you love yourself. And oof, that one hit me. When we start choosing devotion, the things we usually put off and later shame ourselves for become easier to show up for, because devotion builds trust in ourselves. When I started approaching time from this lens, I no longer felt like I was wasting it. I was aligning with it. I saw another quote. I love quotes. It says, "You think you're being lazy, but you're really just in a season that calls for softness." And that softened me, because not every season is meant to be productive. Some seasons are for becoming, and some seasons are meant for really bringing the heat and being in your visionary, productive mode with your passions and your goals. And all of it is okay, especially as women. Our bodies, we don't operate on the same 24-hour cyclical cycle as men. And I won't go deep into that today, but if you're in a slower season, be there. It's not punishment, but maybe it's preparation, a rerouting. I had this season and it was so incredibly beautiful, so needed. It was sacred. It was part of the journey that led me to sitting here right now recording this episode. That's what devotion teaches us, to trust the pace of our becoming. I'm going to share a 3-step process that I started at the end of the day that really sends me to bed feeling at peace and feeling accomplished, and helps me to wake up feeling free. It's especially helpful on the days I'm just really feeling it and feeling myself wanting to spiral into shame or feeling anxious about all that I didn't get done. So at night when I'm cozy in bed, I grab my journal, and here is step 1 that I do. I make a list of everything I did today or that day, including the things like playing games with my kids, sending an email, having a good conversation with my husband over coffee or matcha, just all the things. Clearly not little things like picking up a piece of scrap paper off the ground, but you know what I mean. And I don't include just the to-do list. I write down the productive things that I would normally write on my to-do list, and also the sacred, meaningful things. And by doing this, it shows me how rich my day truly was and how much I did get done, even if everything isn't marked off my to-do list. And I find peace in this. And I remind myself that time is an illusion and urgency steals my peace and my joy. The second thing I do is I ask myself, what still feels open? Personally, I have yet to feel like anything is left open because of step 1, and it's confirmation to my mind that everything is done that needs to be done right now in this moment. And tomorrow I'll wake up with a fresh day of limitless possibilities, and I get to play in that realm. Number 3, the last thing I do, I write and tell myself this: I did enough. I am enough. I release the day now. This simple process has been so incredibly powerful for me. There's also this psychological phenomenon called the Zeigarnik effect that makes your mind hyper-focused on incomplete things. This gives insight into how you're not actually always procrastinating. It's that unfinished business can literally hijack the brain. And this is why. You can't stop thinking about that unresolved argument or issue or conversation with someone or the half-finished project that haunts your thoughts. So your brain feels uneasy until a task is done because our brains crave closure, because that closure brings us peace. But here's the twist. When we learn to harness this effect, we can use it to stay motivated, avoid procrastination, and get things done. We can flip the script. Start small, break things down, and give yourself those quick wins, Let your brain work for you and not against you. And this 3-step nightly process that I shared brings closure to my brain. And the next day, I wake up without the urgency of unfinished things. It's really powerful. I also want to bring awareness to the fact that if you've been operating from survival mode, chronic stress, overwhelm, burnout, fight or flight, lack of sleep, especially if you're a mother who's been taking care of littles for a long time, or you don't have a lot of quiet moments, there's always noise. This all plays a really big factor in our relationship with time. Going through your day with a dysregulated nervous system creates a loop when it comes to time management and how we function in our day. And it's a big part of the coaching that I do with clients. And I've learned that time is actually not our most valuable currency. Our attention is. What are you giving your attention to? The real power lies in how we choose to spend our time. What are you giving your attention to? Are there things that you're giving your attention to that are draining your energy, your focus, and siphoning your day? And as we decide to be devoted and intentional with our time and attention, it's beautiful how our soul gets louder because we're reclaiming our focus, our perception, our frequency, and our feminine fire. Because the truth is, your presence is too sacred to be fractured by things that do not serve you well. Here are some affirmations I love to anchor this in. I am devoted to my joy. I am devoted to my peace. I am devoted to my well-being. I am devoted to what matters to me. I show up because I get to. I don't hustle for worthiness. I live in alignment with what matters. My attention is sacred. My presence is power. I do not belong to the noise. I belong to the now. I choose depth over distraction because you don't need to manage your time better. You need to trust yourself more. You are not behind. You are becoming. And that, my love, is right on time. And deciding to be devoted to you is a beautiful choice that you get to make. I hope this conversation gave you something to reflect on and that it invites you into a new, more loving relationship with time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the She Rises Collective podcast. If this episode moved you, inspired you, reminded you of your power, or you just plain enjoyed it, please take a second to subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a review, and even share it to your social media. Your voice helps this show reach more women who are ready to rise. If you're craving deeper support, real conversations, or want to explore working together, head to soniawelch.com or come say hi on Instagram or Facebook to stay connected. I'd truly love to hear what's landing for you. My coaching work is about the sacred journey of rising, becoming, and expansion into the most beautiful version of you. It's the synergy of mind, heart, soul, and body work that we do in my world that creates a vortex of deep self-remembrance, unlocking your fullest potential, the kind that births lasting transformation and activates the truth of who you are. It's a recalibration of who you are at your core, a deep initiation into your power, your purpose, and your potential. Remember, you are the artist of your life. You are allowed to rewrite your story. You are worthy of more joy, more peace, and more soul-screaming yes moments than you've ever allowed yourself to believe are even possible. This is about living a life of intoxicating joy, doing what lights you up, a life that roars into the world and creates ripple effect impact, because it's not just about us. This is how we shift paradigms, take our power back, and give others permission to do the same, just by being who we truly are and letting our magic be felt and seen. Until next time, keep rising, keep becoming, and don't forget, joy is rebellion, and you are here to make it roar. You are loved and you are supported here.